Hello, accounting fans. This is Dr. Fessler at Western Kentucky University, and we're going to go through. This is going to be a presentation of learning how to learn, kind of volume one or chapter one, day number one, as it is on the screen. As we will record, we'll have 3 more sessions throughout the semester. This one I'm recording at home because the in-class recording of this didn't work so well, and so I've kind of corrected those technical difficulties, but I'm kind of going back and re-recording this particular presentation. So learning how to learn. As you come from high school into college, students who are taking this class are stereotypically freshmen in college. This is the spring 2024 semester when I'm recording this video, and those students, most of this, in fact, almost every student in the class is in their second semester of college, and they're learning that college is a bit different. And I assert to students that they're still learning how to learn. And so that is what this presentation is for, is to facilitate that, to help students with that process, okay? So at the beginning of your class, I gave students a quiz and asked them to answer the question that is on the screen. How does someone learn? Or alternatively, how do you know if you have learned something? And so we might take a moment here. I'll give you just a little bit of a moment to think about this question. Okay? So then we're going to what I did in class is I actually asked students throughout the class. I literally interact with every student and ask them their answer to this question. Lots and lots and lots of different sorts of answers. Okay? But I'm rather than spending time talking about that, let's move on to my answer to this question. And my answer to this question is, if you have learned how to learn, if you have learned it, you can teach it. And so this is, for my students, this is a phrase, a sentence that I want you to have memorized, okay? If you have learned it, you can teach it. Now, giving credit where credit is due, most of what I talk about when talking about teaching, having students learn how to learn, is from this book. It's by Dr. Sandra McGuire, Teach Yourself How to Learn, Strategies You Can Use to Ace Any Course at Any Level. And I provide on Blackboard a link to purchase this book on Amazon if you should be interested. It is not required, but if you are interested, you can find it there, okay? So by a vote of hands, I ask students, do you believe your current academic performance is related more to your ability or to the amount of effort you are putting into your course? And I stopped and I did have everybody vote. And correctly, I might add, the vast majority of students voted amount of effort. And that is, in fact, the right answer to this question. Your performance in school has more to do with your effort than with your natural ability, whatever that might be, whether that is good or less good, okay? And then, but the question then about learning then becomes, are all forms of effort equal? The author of the book, Dr. McGuire, she was a good high school student, very good in chemistry, and very good in the hard sciences, very good in chemistry. She received a rather prestigious chemistry-based scholarship to attend a university. And when she got there, she was not performing as well as she was used to. And she then had this thought: if I can't make A's in these chemistry courses by doing what I've always done to make A's, then chemistry must not be what I was meant to do. She had that thought, and she now disagrees with that thought. This book is the result of her journey that taught her otherwise. She learned that She needed to learn how to do things a little bit differently. Okay, here's data from a 2016 survey of high school students. 92.5% of students said they graduated from high school with an A or B average. 72.6% of students believe that their academic ability is above average. But mathematically, this cannot be, can it? And then I asked students in the class, what percentage of students can be above average? And multiple people knew the right answer to this, right? 49 or 50% of students can be above average, not 72.6%. So what does this mean? This slide indicates that at least 25% of students think they are better, kind of better at school than they really are. And it's easy to see why. The first bullet point indicates why, because 92.5% of them graduated with an A or B average. So it's kind of their opinion of their academic performance reflects their performance in high school. But so that suggests that perhaps a little bit, perhaps high school was a little bit too easy for a lot of these students. But nonetheless, they're coming to college with these attitudes, and college might be a wake-up call for some of them. So, and that's, again, part of the reason for this presentation. Additionally, less than 50% of all college students entering college are academically prepared for college level work. Why might this be? Well, because high school was easy, right? In fact, one of the students in class this semester said something along the lines of, yeah, my senior year, I only had to go to high school, half days. And I kind of figured out the system, and I could basically sleep through class and still get all A's. Literally said that. So that was that particular student's experience. And so that particular student, along with many others, are not ready for college level work. And so, again, this series of lectures, there's going to be 4 of them this semester, is intended to help you with that, help all of you with that. All of us can get better at learning. So why do so many students not know how to learn? Well, one, they didn't need to learn in order to make A's and B's in high school. 2, they believe that they're in at least the top half of students their age, unaware that they can become smarter and just simply better students. Okay? And so then I went around the room and talked to every student in the room, asking them to discuss how easy or difficult you found homework, quizzes, and exams in high school, and is college more difficult? And I was really impressed by the thoughtfulness of the students. And one thing I learned from them, and they were able to comment very intelligently on it, given that this was their second semester in college, was that in high school, it seems, most work is done during class, right? Most work is done during class, whereas college requires a lot of work to be done at home. And that was a big difference. Students had to do more on their own in college than they did in high school. And so that is something to consider, something important, right? And again, this is something similar. How is your current learning different from high school? Again, much more done at home. Students must manage their time better in college than in high school. You shouldn't, although the temptation is there to become super involved in a lot of different activities, you're better off doing extracurricular activities in moderation to make sure that you give yourself time to study. In general, 15 hours of school should be a full-time, 15 hours of classes at the university level should be roughly equivalent to a full-time job. You should expect to spend roughly 3 hours outside of class for every hour you spend inside of class. So once again, giving credit where credit is due. Everything I'm going to be teaching you all this semester is on this topic of learning how to learn is from this book. The class was largely spent with me interacting with students, so this particular video will be much shorter. Because I'm just videotaping at home and talking a little bit about the slides. So again, if you were very interested in this, I would really encourage you to get this book. And I'm going to leave you all with, again, this slide. If you have learned it, you can teach it. And during class, I went around the room, talked to every student, and by the end of class, every student had this phrase memorized. And if you remember nothing else from this series of videos, of this series of classes, this is what I would like you to remember. If you've learned it, you can teach it.